Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, The Hope Strategist. I am so happy that you are joining me today, and I have a topic today that is definitely going to set your mind free. First of all, just to tell you a little bit about this channel, for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, this channel is all about life mastery, elevation, manifestation of abundance in your life, tips and strategies on how to really reach that next level. And it all starts with mindset. So I want to share some things that have definitely helped me along the way, and things that I'm also still working with. And I'm on a magnificent journey to freedom. Freedom for me, financial freedom, freedom from any type of illness, whether it be mental or physical, freedom from a job, because hey, I love my job, but eventually I don't want to be working for anyone. Anybody else feel like that? Also, just freedom from drama, stress, negativity, toxicity. Like, I'm not about any of that. And if you can align with those, if you are feeling the same way, then definitely subscribe to my channel, because I'll be coming on every week and talking about, various topics. And speaking of topics, this is the month of May. This is Mental Health Awareness Month. And mental health is something that we honestly, as a people in the world, don't take as seriously as we should. And mental health is absolutely vital. I honestly believe that there should be insurance for mental health, the same way that we insure our bodies and we insure our cars, and we have these life insurance policies. We should definitely insure our mind, because that's how we live. That's how you function in this world. So one of the topics that I wanted to address for Mental Health Awareness Month is just dealing with people. And when I say dealing with people, I mean dealing with people where maybe you're having problems, maybe you're having issues with people, maybe you feel like certain relationships and friendships just aren't doing it for you anymore, or you're finding yourself getting very, very aggravated, right, with people, or maybe you're having difficulty at work. Maybe you're having difficulty at home. Maybe you're having difficulty with your friends. Maybe you're having difficulty with your mate. It could be your spouse, right? So, and one of the first things that, a lot of people like to say is, okay, here's a prime example. Let's say you've known someone for, 10 years, and all of a sudden, y'all aren't able to talk anymore. Y'all are always sniping at each other. You never see this person anymore, what have you. And, and it's like, oh my gosh, the first thing you want to say is, oh, that person has changed. And not for the better, right? You're like, this isn't the same person that I dealt with, 10 years ago, or this isn't the same person that I was cool with, 5 years ago. Or, it could be your mate, it could be your husband, it could be your wife. Like, wow, things have changed. This wasn't the same person that I married 2 years ago. This wasn't the same person I married 20 years ago. Your family members, relationships change within families, and you feel like, your own sister or your brother or your mother or your father or your auntie, your cousin, your child, like whoever, like, oh my gosh, this person has changed. Or maybe they're accusing you of being the one who's changed. And there could be various reasons as to why, someone is behaving differently or speaking differently. But I just want to talk directly to you, any of you out there. If you are feeling like, I just want this person to change because I love them so much, We've shared so much together. This person is important to me. Remember this. Do not try to change anyone. Change how you deal with them. Let that sink in. Change how you deal with them. And here are 5 ways that I have learned, and I believe for your mental health, for your peace of mind, for your clarity about life, these 5 things, if you put them into practice, if you remember them, it's a whole different ball game. You look at life totally different, right? When you're dealing with people, you look at yourself differently, you'll look at them differently. So here are my 5 tips. Okay? Number 1, when you're dealing with someone or you're thinking like, oh my gosh, I just, this person has changed, or I need this person to make a change. I need this person to get to that point of where I can deal with them again. I can talk to them again. We can communicate. We can do this. We can do that. Number 1, talk less, listen more. That's hard for a lot of people to do, right? Talk less, listen more. When you listen, as opposed to always being the one that's talking, people will tell you exactly who they are, how they feel, what's going on with them. You can tell a lot from a person just by how they move. You know the saying, actions speak louder than words? They absolutely do. And quite honestly, if you're talking less and listening more, you're showing the other person that you're, number 1, interested in what they're saying, and you're taking it in. Because if you're doing all the talking all the time and you're not listening to them, they don't feel like they're being heard. So when you're having a conversation with someone, especially if the two of you are, you're not connected like you used to be, okay, well, let's talk it out. Allow this person to say how they feel, and you discuss how you feel. But give each other a chance without interrupting to be able to speak what's on their mind and their hearts. Now, these are for relationships that you truly value. If you really don't value the relationship, the friendship, whatever, then don't waste your time with any of these tips. But for the people in your life who you really care and love, these tips are vital. So that's number 1, talk less, listen more. Number 2, don't take it personal. It's not always about you. Here's the thing. Sometimes a person needs space. Sometimes a person might be going through something that they're just not ready to share, or they don't know how to share. And just because they're not communicating anymore, or now that doesn't have anything to do with you. It can't always be about you. That's an insecurity within yourself when you automatically assume, oh, well, this person has changed. They must have an issue with me. No, not necessarily. Pay attention. Listen to what they're saying. Look at their actions. If there's anything that shows like they no longer want to communicate with you or deal with you, then so be it. But if not, allow that person to go through their growth. Whatever it is, it's not always about you, so don't take it personal, okay? Number 3, set your boundaries and standards. I am a big time boundary setter. I believe in setting boundaries because I honestly believe that you have to show people how to treat you. And if someone is doing something that you feel like, is disrespectful or unkind or, has ill intent or some type of ulterior motive about it, you just have to be able to speak up and speak out and say, hey, I noticed that blah, 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 blah. Is that the case? And give them the opportunity to speak, because now you've let them know, okay, here's how I feel about this. This is how, you're moving, and I noticed this. So now they're on notice, like, okay, well, if you continue to do these things and show me that you're not concerned with the fact that it's hurting me, then I know how to deal with you going forward. And, we have to have standards in all of our relationships. You have to have boundaries and standards with your coworkers. If you work a job with the people who you work for, okay, even your boss, okay, you have to have boundaries and standards within your relationships with the opposite sex or the same sex. You have to have boundaries and standards with your friends. You have to set boundaries and standards with even family members, okay? Or people you do business with. You have to know what you will and won't stand for. And there's nothing wrong with stating that and then sticking to it as well, okay? So that's the third tip. Set your boundaries and standards and be okay with that. Be okay with saying what you're uncomfortable with or what your expectations are or what you need. Okay? And there's nothing wrong with saying to someone, hey, in order for me to feel comfortable doing this, this is what I'm going to need. Okay. Number 4, fourth tip is accept them where they are. Accept the person for who they are. People don't change for another person. People change for themselves. Have you, I know we've heard that story before of people say, oh, she changed herself for him or he changed himself for her. People don't change for other people. They really don't. They change for themselves, okay? Because if you are trying to make some sort of, drastic change to impress somebody, that doesn't hold up. That only lasts for so long. It really does not. You can't masquerade as somebody else forever. Eventually, the real you pops out, right? The real you shows up. So, sometimes you just have to accept that a person is who they're going to be. They're set in their ways. They're not going to change. If it's your family member, they're your family member. You can't change who your family is, so they're going to be your family member, And you just have to accept that that's how they are. Because if they truly want to have a better relationship with you, they're going to do what it takes to make you feel comfortable as well. It can't just be all one-sided. It has to be equal. It has to be 100, right? And if the dynamics of your relationship, your friendship, whatever has changed, and only one person is willing to do something about it, and the other person feels like, oh, well, I haven't done anything. I'm the same person. I am who I am. You better watch out for that person. Because the whole I am who I am, okay, what does that mean? If I'm telling you that I'm not comfortable with this, I'm not comfortable with something that you've been saying, I'm not comfortable with something that you've been doing, and your whole reaction is, oh, well, just, you just accept it, I am who I am, then that's telling me you're really not caring about what I'm saying. Like, there has to be some sort of compromise. Let's talk this out. Let's figure out why I'm having this feeling, because it's not just coming out of nowhere. And it takes two people. It's never just one person. You know what I mean? Like, I can honestly look back at any of my relationships and be able to, honestly say, yeah, there was some moments in there where, yeah, I was clearly giving off the I don't care vibe, or, this is not my problem vibe, or I'm not messing with you right now vibe. You know what I mean? Like, energy is real. So I never can understand when a person feels like, oh, well, it's clearly all the other person. No, it's two people in a relationship. It's two people in a friendship. It's two people that have a connection to one another when you're so it's something, right? It's something else. And this, like I said, this is for people who you care about, people in your life who, you want to keep a relationship with, or or who you spend a lot of time with. Okay, this is not just the average person that you're like, oh, I don't even know if I'll see that person tomorrow. No, this is for people important to you. Okay, so that's number 4. Number 5, and this is by all means the most important. When I say don't try to change anyone, change how you deal with them. Number 5, you have to realize, okay, that you cannot change the people who you're around. But you can elevate. You can elevate and change who you hang around. Do you understand that? Let me say that again. And let me say it a different way so you can understand. Don't try to change the people around you. Okay? Don't try to change the people around you. Elevate yourself and change the people who you hang around. It might mean spending more time with people who are more aligned with your purpose, your values, okay? It might mean spending less time with certain people. Okay? It might mean not giving energy to certain discussions. Not giving energy to, to things that you feel like, okay, this isn't growing me right now. Or this isn't growing either one of us. It might mean shutting down some conversations, not in a nasty way, just in a, hey, I'm not going to be, hey, I really got to go. I really got to, talk, deal with something else right now. I mean, eventually they'll get the hint. Okay. And to me, elevation sometimes requires isolation, right? So, sometimes it might mean taking a step back and just really working on yourself and getting your mind together, getting your mind right, keeping your peace of mind, and starting to spend more time talking to, listening to people who are speaking, positive things, talking about, elevating to another level. If you want to, buy a new home, if you want to get out of your apartment, get a house, if you want to get a new car, are you going to talk to people who are talking about how, oh, the housing market is, it's in a shambles, can't nobody get a house right now, and there's no cars out there, it's this, it's that. Are you going to talk to people who are going to say, people still buying homes? you know what? I don't know how, I don't know when, but I'm looking for a home right now. God will make it happen. I'm going to put it out there in the universe. You know, are you going to talk to people like that? Are you going to talk to people who are talking about, you know what? I want a new car. I'm getting ready to, start researching and finding out, this particular car that I want. I don't know how I'm going to get it. And that's the thing. You don't have to know the how and the particulars, but just speaking life into what you want, there's power in that. So we have to be very careful about the words that we speak, and we have to be very careful about the company that we keep. Okay? So those are my 5 tips for knowing that you should not try to change anyone, but change how you deal with them. I want to thank you all for joining me today. I hope you got something out of this video. And I will be back next week with another great topic. Have a beautiful day. And as my life coach says, blessings and abundance.